welcome to Midday News on Ogun State Television. I am Olayemi Takuro. Federal government has adopted a public-private partnership-driven housing strategy to tackle Nigeria's glaring housing deficit, placing private sector investment at the center of mass housing delivery across the country. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, disclosed this in Ilorin during the 14th National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development meeting. Speaking through the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics in the Ministry, Alhaji Mukhtar Ilyasu, the Minister said the new National Housing Framework is anchored on effective land administration, urban renewal and strong public-private collaboration. He noted that Nigeria's housing deficit, estimated in the tens of millions, remains one of the country's most pressing socio-economic challenges, driven by rapid urbanization, population growth, rising construction costs, and weak land administration systems. A former Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has called on Nigerians to stop demarketing the country to the outside world, urging citizens to project Nigeria positively while offering constructive criticism where necessary. Alhaji Lai Mohammed made a call during an interactive session and review of his book titled Headlines and Soundbites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration, held at the Olumoro Tourist Center in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Yusuf Ganiu has a report.
The former Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, while commending the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration for strengthening the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, said campaigns for a better Nigeria must begin at the grassroots, starting from the local government level and cascading to the world. Speaking on the global revival of Nigeria's culture, he noted that artists such as Burna Boy and Davido, as well as sports icons like Austin J.J. Okocha, have continued to project the country positively on the international stage. He urged the federal government to invest more in cultural and tourism infrastructure, noting that dedicated facilities for specific events will further boost the nation's creative industry.
That change we are preaching begins with each and every one of us. There is a need for national orientation. There is a need for national reverse. We must all take ownership of Nigeria. Today we all see Nigeria as an ATM. We see it as a meal ticket. Nobody is willing to take ownership of Nigeria and treat it as its own.
Alhaji Lai Mohammed also commended the Ogun State government for the massive turnaround of the Olumoro Tourist Center, saying that although filmmakers in the country are doing well, they still required sustained government support to thrive. He further added that tourism and culture can be further enhanced through the effective use of new media, calling on government to make ownership and ensure digital platforms are deployed to promote Nigeria positively.
Gradually, human work is now becoming a very powerful center of tourism, and what happens is that it's going to bring more numbers tourism to the state, and of course, revenue and from there job creation. So please convey my appreciation to Nabi, because what he is doing is what I canvassed for 8 years. For the next order for Nigeria, especially tourism, culture, and creative industry. And that is one all that has no problem, no militant, and is all joy throughout.
In his remarks, the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, Ola Awakon, says the agency has restored visibility to tourism in the country, adding that discussions are ongoing with investors towards establishing a tourist city in Nigeria.
The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is so keen about public-private partnership, and in alignment with that, I've also been advocating that we need the private sector more in tourism development in Nigeria, because that's the only way we can enhance sustainability and consistency in some of the laudable projects that we have to promote our tourism assets.
Also speaking, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Information and Strategy, Kayode Akimade, alongside the State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Mr. Sheson Fadai, urged Nigerians to stop the market in the country, stressing that patriotism demands positive engagement and constructive criticism.
And it's also very important as Nigerians that we should not demarket our country. We should not demarket our society. We should look at the good side of government and begin to accentuate and promote those good sides. We cannot achieve perfection overnight. When we criticize constructively, it helps government to grow.
With what we have done, revamping Olumo has really shown us that definitely if you revive more tourist sites, we would, have more opportunity of generating revenue, because what we are generating now, has shown to us that the tourism is the way to go.
The convener of the program and Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Culture and Tourism, Prince Bola Basibo, says Ogun State history is unique, noting that the state boasts cultural landmarks such as the Olumo Tourist Center, which many other states do not have.
Beyond just rock climbing, conversations about tourism should happen here. Events should happen here. And we have a lot more such things lined up because we believe our history is peculiar. Ogun State has a lot of cultural elements like this that other states do not have. From Ojude Oba to Lumorok to the story of Yishabi, and we'll see a lot more of that come up during the forthcoming Ogun at 15. So this is just one of the initiatives of His Excellency's vision to promote culture and to enhance tourism in Ogun State and in Nigeria.
He added that the state government is working assiduously to revamp other tourist centers across Ogun State with support from the private sector. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, shall conduct the swearing-in ceremony for the newly appointed permanent secretaries, Statistician General, Principal Generals, and Head Teachers Generals in the public service of Ogun State on Wednesday, 21st of January 2026. A statement from the State Head of Service, Mr. Kehinde Onosonya, indicated that the ceremony for the new appointees, including 9 permanent secretaries, 1 Statistician General, 2 Principal Officer, and 4 Head Teachers General, shall be held at the Obas Complex, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Okemoso, Abeokuta, by 11 in the morning. The new appointees are Mr. Abdulaziz Oludare Ajidele, Mrs. Olufumilayo Yetunde Shoyoyebeka, Mrs. Adebimpe Folusho Bienu, Dr. Mrs. Kafayat Mudupe Lawal, Mr. Ahmed Bayo Aditono, Mr. Idowu Oladapo Onosonya, Mr. Olalekan Peter Taiwo, Mr. Akintomiwa Oluwagbemini Oshibodu, Engineer Kehinde Olukayode Akinsomide, Statistician General Mrs. Omolara Adebukola Adebayo, Principal Generals Mr. Matthew Adeyinka Oshilesi, Mr. Yakubu Oloriyomi Lamidi, and Head Teacher Generals Mr. Benjamin Olusegun Alonge, Mrs. Aminat Folake Busari, Mr. Olusegun Nathaniel Kapo, Mrs. Folake Omolara Onobaju. The Head of Service explained that all members of the State Executive Council, new appointees and guests are enjoined to be seated at the venue of the ceremony by 10:30 in the morning. The Department of State Services has arrested a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Malam Abubakar Malami's son. This followed the discovery of arms and ammunition in his Benin KB mansion. It was alleged that he was working with cahoots with some vested interests abroad to destabilize the country. Malami was arrested yesterday outside the Kuje Correctional Service, Abuja, after perfecting his bail conditions on economic and financial crimes-related matters. He was put on trial by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for alleged 8 billion naira fraud. Justice Emeka Wite granted him his son and others bail on January 7. And on business, the International Monetary Fund has upgraded its growth forecast for Nigeria to be 4.4% in 2026 citing improved macroeconomic conditions and reform momentum. The fund disclosed this in its January 2026 World Economic Outlook update titled Global Economy Steady Amid Divergent Forces. According to the IMF, Nigeria's economy is expected to maintain a steady expansion path, rising from 4.1% in 2024 to 4.2% in 2025, before accelerating to 4.4% in 2026. The new estimate represents a 0.2 percentage point upward revision from the fund's October 2025 projection. The IMF said Nigeria's improved outlook mirrors a broader pickup across sub-Saharan Africa, where growth is projected to reach 4.6% in 2026 and 2027. The fund attributed the regional performance to macroeconomic stabilization and continued reform efforts across key economies. Now, the foreign scene, the Congolese army says it has retaken control of South Kivu city of Uvira after the withdrawal of Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. M23 seized Uvira in early December, but it said it was placing the city under the responsibility of the international community. On Sunday, pro-Kinshasa Wahalo forces entered southern district of Uvira, followed later in the day by Congolese special forces, government sources said. They announced the city's full recapture. Residents cheered the arrival of fighters as sporadic gunfire echoed through the city. The arrival was met by the looting of shops and homes, according to several local sources. The rebels had announced their withdrawal last month, supposedly in response to a U.S. request, but residents said that M23 police and military personnel remained in the strategic city. And in the world of sport, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have climbed to 26th in the latest FIFA Men's World Rankings, their highest position in 16 years, following a strong run at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Host Morocco also broke into the top 10 for the first time since 1998, reflecting the significant impact of the tournament on African football. Eric Chell's boys were among the biggest movers in the January 2026 FIFA ranking, rising 12 places after securing the bronze medal in the continental competition. The previous highest ranking was in May 2010, when they were ranked 21st in the world. And just before we leave, let's remind you of this quote by John Lennon that says, "A dream you dream alone is only a dream you dream together is reality." And that ends Midday News. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.